Hello everybody, welcome to Abba's Hand, the channel where I basically draw whatever I feel like. Today I am drawing a picture of Huggy Wuggy from Poppy Playtime. For those not familiar, it's a horror game. Basically it's about some toys that a company built for its Playtime Co., like the name of the factory. The people in it was making toys, and those toys got evil, and they started basically killing everybody there. Huggy Wuggy being the antagonist of the chapter 1 of the game, and that's the one that I'm doing. Anyways, I made an anime version of him. And stick around for a special secret at the end of the video, as you saw on the title. Right now, I'm just drawing him. I'm going to be putting him in the Playtime Co. environment. And as you can see here, I'm just free drawing him right now. I know that in the last video I was talking about the process of making a basic sketch, and then doing another one to get the basic shape, and then doing a third or fourth one to get the final work. But my version of Huggy Wuggy is just so simplistic. Well, let me say, it's simplistic enough. There are some pretty specific details that I need to make sure look right, like the feet and stuff, for example, like that curve at the end of the foot you just saw. I didn't like that. His feet aren't digging into the ground, so I'm just fixing that real quick. And now it looks good. Anyways, what I was saying was the shape was so simplistic that I really don't need to do a whole sketch and then a second one and a third one. I could just free draw it and adjust it as I go. I usually don't advise that in these videos. Well, yeah, I don't advise that in videos, or when I'm just doing my work, I always encourage doing a basic sketch. But, you know, sometimes I can do that. And the reason that you saw me make that annoyed looking face is because I was trying to adjust the head right there, and sometimes what Paint Internet does is, like, you'll select something, you'll scale that object, but a part of it will be, like, chopped off. And that's really annoying. That's why I made the face, because I was trying to scale Huggy's head right to make it correct in comparison to the body, but it was doing that again. That's why I was doing the swirls and stuff before I actually went over his head and scaled it, because sometimes you just gotta do that. Anyways, as you can see, I'm doing it on the eyes. I'm working on the eyes. Anyways, if you want to, you could go get an image of Huggy Wuggy, the original one, to see him, and then you could see what I'm doing here. The several differences, but at the same time there are a couple of similarities, like the extremely long limbs and whatnot. I mean, if you already know how he looks, then you don't have to go back and see. I'm just saying, so you can see the comparison. Anyways, as you see, I've given him an eye color. A nice reddish brown orange, I guess you could say. A nice light maple syrup orange, I guess, now that I look at it. Anyways, usually he has huge dilated eyes, but I changed that. That's for later. Anyways, now I'm getting started on the mouth. I made his lips a little bit thinner than the original because on this design it looked a little goofy. Actually, my design of Huggy Wuggy went through quite a few transformations before it became this final version. Even though now I'm gonna have a problem. I gotta scale the head again and deal with the same problem I just mentioned earlier. But I've got it pretty quickly and added the eye shine. Now it's time for his bow. It's usually the same color as his fur in the original, but I changed that as well. And now, as you saw, I'm doing the swirls and whatnot to make sure that it looks not yacked off, and I put it on the head, and now it looks great. Now it's time for the scenery. The reason my mouse is moving all over the place so strangely is because I was going back and forth looking at images of an original area in Poppy Playtime so I could copy it, and boy, I've gotta say, a lot of things that I'm gonna draw for this guy, if I draw more pictures of him, is gonna be a factory-like made-up background because seriously, going back and looking at images of the original background was literally the same amount of work as drawing 3 of my own backgrounds. No, make that 5 of my own backgrounds, and I refuse to do that more than once, so And if I do it more than once, it's gonna be for a picture, like this you're seeing here. Also, I skipped ahead to where all the scenery is right there because I don't believe it's very fun to watch me drawing every last single little detail. Well, not every last single little detail, I'm not doing that mess. It's pretty boring to see me doing just like every little shape and object and thing that's in the scene that I'm copying, so I just skipped ahead so you guys could see me make it look good. Anyways, this is actually a specific part in the factory. It's the I forgot. I think it's the gift shop. Yeah, that's it. It's the gift shop area with the box and the fences and the shapes and stuff. I tried to get it pretty accurate. I even did the Brawn poster in the back. And for those of you who don't know, Brawn is a orange dinosaur. He's a Brontosaurus. And I did the poster of him behind Huggy Wuggy's arm, his left arm. I mean, I'm talking about your left. Behind that arm is the poster. Anyways, I'm just doing the fence, adding some highlights and shadows to try to make them look like they have some shape, even though I know the fences are flat. I just wanted to make sure they didn't look completely flat, you know? To give them some dimension. Now I am trying to add the things on the back and trying to make sure it didn't streak across the rest of the floor, the things that's holding the fences. And now I'm adding some shading to the wall. It's a little bit hard to see because, as I told you in the last video, DaVinci Resolve, the editing software I'm using, it all the times brightens up the images and makes them look brighter than they do in person. So if you can't see the shadows in some areas, just know that they're there. Sorry about that. I know I could just do color correction, but it doesn't look bad right now, so if it looks in a way that I don't want it to, I'll change it. But until then, I guess it's fine. I mean, if you guys have a problem with it, then do let me know so I can do something about that. But if not, then it's cool. Now I'm adding some shades to add dimension to these here colored pillars, door hinge pillars? You know what? I don't know. Anyways, now I'm just doing these here golden yellow circles. I severely need to come up with the right names before I start sounding crazy. I don't know what those yellow things are, and I do know that these are metal poles that I'm drawing. In the original, they are not poles, but I made them poles because it looks good. And now I'm trying to do the lights a little bit after these poles. Also, I'm adding some strange-looking reflections on these poles to try to make it look like they're reflecting things and a little stylized and not just a flat reflection on it. And then shadows. I'm trying to spice it up a little bit, I guess you could say. I'm not sure how well I'm doing, but I'm trying. I don't do metal very often. Anyways, now I'm just doing the little hinges on these here lights. The things that's holding them to the ceiling. I don't know what these are called either. I made them up. So I'm just gonna call them light hinges, I guess. Anyways, I'm adding some shading to the light because while I know it's a light source and light sources don't usually have shadows, I think it makes it look a little bit like it's a object, you know? Like some nice subtle shading to make it look like it's a physical object that's not just like a thing made out of light, you know? And now I'm just doing the glass on this here door. And again, I do not very often do glass. I'm doing the best that I can here, trying to make it look nice and reflective, add a little bit of shadow somewhere. And now I'm doing some subtle colored reflections, so it looks like it is subtly reflecting the objects around it. Now that that's done, time to start moving on to the box. And now the footage actually isn't slowing down and making my audio weird so I can keep up well. Anyways, I'm just doing this here box, adding the shades to make it look nice and 3D, like a three-dimensional box. And I think I really like how the box looks in the final product. Adding that tape so nothing falls out of this box. There's enough objects in this here scene, I don't need things falling out of it and then I need to draw them too, so I'm adding tape. Now, add some nice texture to make the box look like it's cardboard, not completely even texture. And now I'm adding a little bit of shadows to this here back blue board thing. Just adding highlights. And now to work on this here TV. Thankfully, this TV is very easy to draw. Just adding a shadow on the top, a shadow on the rim. Then make the screen look nice. I decided on the nice, slightly dull screen you see on laptops, and now I'm just doing the poster. Very simple poster. It's a black and green paper. I was contemplating making that square on the floor look like a 3D shape or something, but nah, it's just a flat, dark, gray plane on the floor. I don't know what's going on with it, but now I'm working on Huggy Wuggy. And for those of you who know, and, well, who don't know, this guy has fur, so don't worry, I'm at it. I'm just doing the initial shading first. Now I'm working on his hands. I'm trying to be adding shadows accurate to the light sources around him. Like if there's a shadow on the left of him, I'm not going to add a shadow on the left. I'm trying my best. I don't exactly know how well I'm doing, but I'm trying. And you may not be able to see too many shadows thanks to the light again. Sorry, I should look into color correction, but they're there. But if you guys can't see them, there really ain't no point, so I should work on that. Shading his lips now. His lips are a very rubbery texture, so I'm adding some nice reflection. I'm lightening the crease between his lips a bit, and then just adding a dark thing in the very middle to make it look like it's going in. And now I'm shading the eyes and adding some nice eye glow. There we go. I meant a reflection glow. And now this is gonna be a problem. I'm gonna be adding fur to this guy by using the smudge tool, but it'll also deform the objects around him. And as of now, I don't exactly know how to fix that. But I also cannot leave this guy furless. I mean, I technically can, but then it won't look like Huggy Wuggy. It'll look like budget Huggy Wuggy, I guess. They could afford everything else, but they couldn't afford fur, and I ain't doing that. I'll find a way. I think I'm doing a pretty decent job of doing the fur without making everything else around him look fuzzy. I'm really trying here, and I think I did do that. Now I'm doing the fine fur, so it looks more like fur and not just cheap fuzz being raked down his body, you know? That's what I always do for his hair. Now I'm trying to make the strings on the bow tie a little bit darker so that it looks like it's behind the light, but it looks lighter. I think I did something that made it look like that. You know what? In my next video, I'm going to do color correction. This ain't it. know I could just edit it in now, but again, it's not a big enough problem to make me want to do that, but I'm certainly going to do that next time. Anyways, I'm adding the final shadows, the objects in the scene casting shadows, adding just some slight reflection to this here thing, just attention to detail. Now, here's the secret I promised you all at the end of the video. I am thinking of releasing my own Poppy Playtime fan film. It's not nearly finished yet, the audio or most of the pictures, but it's coming in a while, I don't know when. But hopefully you guys will stay tuned to see that. Don't expect it anytime soon, but when it comes, I think you'll enjoy it. And that's the final product. Anime Huggy Wuggy. And this is the before picture. Nice and flat and simplistic. And the after picture. Thank you guys for watching my second video. Please like and subscribe, and even if you don't, I'm just happy that you're watching my videos, but I'd really appreciate it if you did. So, yeah, bye!